guys! Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Merry Christmas!
Yeah, that too.
Because you haven't seen us. Those, yeah.
Kwanzaa, I don't know. All of those other holidays too.
All the things.
All the things. I'm very cold. I've been cold all day. I'm telling you, they're trying to kill me in this building.
That's not true. We're not trying to kill her. But it is, like...
It is cold.
Pretty cold.
I said I'm going to get those fingerless gloves, but I just think I need to Michael Jackson it because I just primarily use my mouse, so this one I can, like, hide and keep warm, so it's just this one that's cold. I just need a glove for that one.
Oh, no. So, Miss Allison has come up with a new series for us to do.
We have a new series going on.
I'm excited about it.
It's called The Root of You, and we are going to be primarily focused on... There's a lot going on at the top of the screen.
Oh, there are. Here, I'll fix that.
That's okay.
Oh, nope.
There it went. We're going to be focusing on the first chapter / part of the second chapter of Genesis, or whatever we end up feeling like. There might be others added in. But it's going to be a primary focus on the 7 days that God created everything. So
that's a big 7 days.
It is. It's a big 7 days. And it's just coming at it from a different angle. I mean, this is something that, like, when I was a kid, was taught a lot, and it's just taught in the, like, as a creationist point of view. It's just God created, and I'm looking at it as it can be a metaphor for what he does in us. And when I picked up and started reading it yesterday, I just thought that the second verse really spoke to me, which is the one that I used for the devotional, Genesis 1:2. Now the earth was formless and empty, darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And how I relate to that, and how in the beginning of your relationship with God, you are formless. You haven't been formed into what he wants you to be yet. So you're just, he's there, but you're not there. You're not who you're supposed to be yet. And then the first thing that he does on day one is he says, let there be light. And so then he fills you with his light and his goodness and his grace, and you're filled with that. So she's just nodding her head, looking at me.
I think that it's good to have... You know how when you read things, it can just kind of be redundant, like things that you've read or whatever, learned from the time you were able to hear things. And for it to come at it from a different perspective is always good. It's always refreshing. And I think that this is one of those devos that is going to do exactly that. For it to be a thought process that God created the world, but he also creates inside of us all of these things that he made in the natural inside of us. So yes, that's good. I like it. I'm shaking my head because I like it.
She shakes her head. I put the definition of Genesis on. I follow this woman on Facebook, and she did this whole New Year things, do stuff you've never done before, and she was like, maybe you could learn Hebrew, and I'm sitting there going, that is like incredibly daunting to even think about words in Hebrew. But so I looked up Genesis, and down at the bottom it said, borrowed from Latin Genesis, generation or nativity is what it means, and in ancient Greek it's to be produced, become, beginning, or creation. And in English, the definition in Webster's is the origin or mode of formation of something. And similar words were origin, source, root, beginning, and start. And I liked how in Latin it can be translated as nativity, because we just went through that with Jesus' birth and how that's the nativity story, and that was the beginning of him.
Yeah.
And how all those words can be, same thing. It's pretty cool.
It is cool. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go get my charger.
Oh. Yes, we're
BRB.
dying over here. So the beginning of the devotional, I say formless and empty, and I talk about I'm one of those people that I usually make a resolution and I usually don't keep it. I'm one of those people that I'm like, oh, I'm going to lose weight, and I walk for like 3 days and eat good for about 1, and then I don't. So this year I was just kind of sarcastic going into the new year, and I'm like seeing all of these people who are like, yeah, new year, new you, start today, 2020 vision. That's been a whole thing this year with the being the 2020, and I thought, I'm like, good for those people. I am so not there. I am just in this blah sad little Alison bubble, and I just hadn't been with it. And I know you guys have heard me talk about that before, and I think that that's something that's really important to discuss too, is there's going to be highs and lows because you're human. There's going sideways.
I'm moving.
That's alright. There's going to be highs and lows in your relationship, not with God, but because with you, because you're human too. Well, not really, because when you sit down, we're not going to be able to see you.
That's okay, I'll lean.
Just lean. I feel like it's a lot me, and we're all crooked.
I'm sorry.
Now. It's
we
not
have
your
to
fault.
go that direction because my phone was going to die and I had to plug us in, and
She did.
Sorry about that, guys.
To die.
check out the orange wall.
Check it out on the side there. But anyways, so I had this whole epiphany yesterday morning with starting at the beginning of the Bible because I didn't know where to start with, and then all of this, and I commented on a post on this page that I follow on Facebook, and this woman commented back, and she just was like, it just takes dedication, and I've read the Bible all the way through twice, and it just has to be, the more you do it, it's an addiction, and you just get, and I'm like, yes, I understand all that. That's not where I was coming from at all, and that's not where I'm coming from with this. It does take hard work, and it does, but sometimes you're going to have that low where you feel formless and empty, and that's just a human thing to go through. And yes, you do have to work through it, and yes, you do, but it's not always going to be the high.
That's true.
So I feel like I'm still on day 1 in my relationship with God, where he's just, I'm formless and empty, and he's right there trying to fill me with light. Going, get it together, woman. But, so I said on the second day of the new year, because I wrote this yesterday, God is showing us how he is going to form us. In this devotional series, we'll be talking about the beginning chapter of Genesis and what it can be a metaphor for. Who all is ready to see the work God is going to do in 2020?
This girl.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
And I titled it The Root of You because I think that this is obviously the foundation, the root of who you are going to grow as a person in Christ. So, in the worksheet, the first question was, what are you rooted in? If you're digging your roots and they're in bad soil, you're not going to get very far. But if it's going to be in good, rich, nutritious soil, you're going to grow. And number 2, do you need a grace-filled pick-me-up to start off 2020? I so do.
Good.
And your challenge is to read chapter 1 of Genesis. It's not very long. It's very insightful.
It's true.
And just read it with an open mind and come at it from a different angle instead of, 7-year-old me going, the first day, light, and then he made water. Ooh. Because that's totally how I was at 7 years old. Pastor's kid. So, and I told her yesterday, I feel like I'm talking a lot, but I told her yesterday that I avoid Genesis. I don't read it. I'm just like, we'll just skip around that chapter. Not like I cherry pick, but it's kind of like Revelations. I just kind of skip it. I don't want to venture in there. So the fact that I even was like, I'm going to start at the beginning and I'm going to read it. I'm going to do it. I think that was a big step too. So.
Hi, Misty. Hi, Kiera.
Hi, guys. Congratulations, Kiera. She's having another baby.
Congratulations, Kiera.
She didn't know.
Yay.
Yeah.
Bring on 2020.
I know. 2020,
Oh, cool.
baby.
Number 2 in 2020.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I thought the other day, I shouldn't think things, but about if somebody wanted to get married and they did it on 02/20/2020, that'd
be cool.
And then I wondered how many people got married on 02 in 2002.
That'd be clever.
Just wondered. So that's where we're at, and that's where we're going to be with this series. So we're going to get through at least 7 weeks of it. Let's hope. Yep. And if you have any questions, something else I wanted to clarify too, because I'm me and I try to look at things from every angle and what could go badly. I am not at all saying that this is what the creation story is, and that it's just a metaphor for God, and I'm not saying that. So don't be like, you aren't a creationist, and that's you gotta take the Bible and it's word for word the way it is. I'm not arguing with that. This is just a different take on it. So,
and I think it's good that God meets us where we are. So, like in that very moment when Miss Allison read those words, God's like, I've got you. I'm meeting you right there. This might be how you feel, but look at all these other things that I have in store. Just right there.
Yes, and one of my favorite things, because when you guys read it, is I have the New Life Translation Bible. And I guess I should read it in other translations too, because I had never noticed when he talks about the plants and about how all of them are seed bearing. I thought that was interesting. Mm-hmm. That stuck out to me for some reason.
No, that's true. I noticed that last night while I was reading too. Because I turned into a nerd. When it comes to the Bible, I'm not a big reader of other things, but I'll read in different translations, and a few of them said the same thing.
It's just something I had never noticed before. And then this morning, I'm getting on to different weeks already. This morning I was reading it again. What was it? I wrote it down with a question mark because I wanted to Google it, because when I read my Bible, I don't have my phone with me. Like, I make it a point of not even having that distraction, and then I write something down and I'm like, I'm going to look that up to see what that means. And I'm going to have to. I can't remember what it was. It was an aromatic something. And I was like, what is that? And something else that I found interesting with it is how in the second verse he's already talking about water. And it doesn't ever say that I noticed or read, I guess I need to read it again, that he makes the water. It's just like the water's there.
He just forms it or something, isn't that what it says?
And that he's just hovering over it and it's just there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was interesting too.
That is.
Yeah.
We're going to learn a lot.
We are going to learn a lot. Or we're going to have a lot of questions that we're going to have to Google later and ask God. Be like, what does that mean?
Heavenly wisdom. Open up that mystery box, please.
Yes.
That'd be good, though.
Key things for this week is this is the root start, being formless and empty, and he's going to mold us into who we're going to be. And the definition of Genesis and what all the different translations of that word mean and how they blend together with other things in the Bible. Just because I always think it's ironic, but it's not ironic. It's just God.
Mm-hmm. How all the words just kind of meld together and they always mean exactly what they're supposed to.
Yep.
Yeah. He's cool like that. So, did you post this on our Facebook last night?
I did.
Okay, cool. So if you haven't read the Devo that Miss Allison wrote, check it out.
Read it.
Just scroll down. Read it. Share it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess we'll see you next week.
We will. We'll try real hard. We keep saying that, and I keep feeling like we're just getting busy because he can't stop you, he makes you busy, and we've said that. But it's true.
Yeah. But we'll conquer it.
We should.
We will. Okay.
So thanks for listening to my rambling craziness today.
It's not craziness.
It feels that way. There's a lot of crazy going on up in here trying to make things.
It was good.
Sense.
It was good. So have a good weekend.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week. See you guys.
Bye guys.
I'll try and not block everything and we won't have an orange stripe next